We're finally back with another video for my official PvP series. And I know I've been slacking on the content for my official series, but hopefully we can get you all caught up. I have a lot of footage that I'm really excited to edit and get to. The editing doesn't take that long, but it does take some time, and I'm very picky about it. So while this video doesn't necessarily need a lot of commentary, I do want to give some here and there. And right now, what we're starting off with was, if you watched the last video, I know it was boring. It was basically an offline raid, which we did not expect because that group had 10 people, considering they had allies as well. But one of them was very salty about us raiding them, and he decided to build this wall behind our base. Don't ask me why I left this in. It just amused me, and it was something that I recorded, and I don't know. We did end up finding his main base of operations. We had found some small bases of his around the map, blew into them. There wasn't much there. He was trying to crank out some DP and stuff to just try to grief us, but we did end up finding his main base. But there were more important things happening, well, for us anyways, and one of the biggest things was actually claiming our main base location, which was, of course, it's got to be Keyhole. We watched this timer like a hawk. We had multiple timers on our phones for when it would decay, and when it did, I was there ready to put down the footprint because we wanted to establish ourselves on this server. I'm not one of those people that like to server hop. I like to get a secure location, and I like to ride out pop going up and pop going down. Official servers are constantly getting pop, and on 1540, it's one of the servers out there that just always has population coming in as well as it does going. But once that was done, we had the transitory stone set up, and all we had to do was transfer loot at that point. So we weren't too worried about the base. We had it secured. We had enough land claimed down. It was ours. We had to go say our final goodbyes. I don't even know what to say to him. In future videos, you'll understand more, but the people that we actually were raiding and at war with, this guy who was a part of their clan, they didn't like him. Nobody liked this guy. We didn't like this guy. And he got what he deserved. The last things he said to us before leaving the server was, of course, insulting us and telling us to come to 1530. Like I said, I stick around on my home server, and that's where I like to play. Now, here is just not, it's not necessarily your typical raid. If you know anything about me, we like to raid people that provoke us. And these individuals had been raiding wheelbases and stuff of ours, and we tried to talk to him and ask him, what's up? You hurting for resources? You new to the server? And they had an attitude. So we figured the best course of action was just to show up at their door. If you didn't notice, even before the raid started, he was already repairing his walls. We had not done any damage at this point. Absolutely none. And he was already repairing something that was fully repaired. So, I'll let this play out for a little bit. And we went through quite a few bombs to get in there. Those walls are, well, you know how annoying they can be. And when you have someone replacing and rebuilding, we just knew if we could get down enough bombs and pressure, and we started using thralls and bodies to make sure he couldn't replace what we were blowing up. Now, I figured I would leave looting in and speed it up. I know some people are interested in it. If you like me to just leave this in and speed it up, or if you would prefer maybe, putting some vaults down or chest and showing you what we got from the raid, let me know in the comments below what you guys prefer. But if you don't mind this, if I'm the one grabbing loot, I will try to include it so you guys can see what was in the base. And I know it's fun to see what you get out of the raid, and I'll try to leave that in there for you guys. Now, we weren't done just yet. They still had some vaults underwater that we thought maybe would contain a lot of their loot, but they didn't, surprisingly. But we knew they also had a base by Sinner's Refuge, which was their starter. Mostly tier 1 on the outside, but tier 3, I think Black Ice on the inside. There was really no opposition. I don't know if I don't know if he died in the base while bombing, or if he pulled corpse to go to another base. I'm not really sure what happened with this group. They kind of disappeared after all of this happened, and then when they came back, they changed their name. And I would like I don't know if you watch my content, but I'm kind of sorry because we ended up raiding your crevice base, and you guys had changed your name, and we didn't know it was you. So, to be fair, we didn't know. My clan told me we were getting raided, and it was one of those days where I was just not in the mood to deal with it. You ever have those days where it's just like, go away? And I didn't know how bad it was, and then I opened this door, and it looks worse than it is because we didn't live on the top part. We always live in the basement. It's just the most secure place. Up top was like, I think, our Zoth altar and some animal pens and stables and stuff like that. What was funny is this is a group we've had many run-ins with, and not just on official, but also on private servers. So it's always fun to fight these guys. They did outnumber us in the long run, and it became very chaotic for us to deal with. But what I did notice is they were really hell-bent on this corner. And please don't ask me why I did this. I don't know why I did it. I thought maybe it would blow him up. I didn't even know where he was. Listen, it was an oops moment. But since I noticed they really wanted this side open so they could get in and out, I just grabbed some repair mats and started rebuilding, repairing, and whatnot. And this group hates that, by the way. I think we've earned the nickname, like every time they come around and we have to repair something or rebuild something, they say tink tink. But let me tell you something. If you go raid them, they're smacking that repair hammer too. Don't know if anyone realizes this, but it's Conan, and it's a game about, surviving and not getting wiped and dominating your foes. So yeah, I'm going to rebuild my base. I'm not an idiot. I just couldn't catch a break. As you saw, I'm trying to run away, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta go back there and repair it. They were they were so hell bent on this one side right here, and I just kept repairing it and replacing it. I was just not in the mood that day. I was like, we've been dealing with a large group multiple days. Today is my day off. I'm just gonna do. I wanted to do as minimal as possible. Just want to keep you out of my base, so then I can go do other things, like play a different game that day. My clanmate tells me they decided to start blowing in the north side of our base, so naturally I went over there and did what I do best: replace and repair. Once they finally fizzled out, we decided to pop open their vault and see if anything was in it. We pretty much knew there's not going to be anything in it, but you got to check. It's just the principle of it. Now, if you're wondering about this, no, I am not being a bully. I promise you. There was a solo on the server, and he had been getting raided every day by this group, and I think there was 3 or 4 of them. Not all of them are here, so we told him we would come over, and we'd start blowing into their base, and we would let him take whatever he needed, whatever they took from him. You know, I don't like when people bully solos or duos. When you know you can win the fight because you have the numbers, it's just not very sporting to me. So we went over here and asserted ourselves, I guess. It kind of makes us look like dicks, but I promise you, we're doing this for a good cause. You just gotta trust me. I decided to include this because this is when the things on the server started to shift quite a bit. There were lots of strange individuals showing up, and as you can see, there was one group that had spammed all over the entire map. They had spammed all in Brim Lake, so people couldn't farm brimstone there. They had spam everywhere. It didn't last long. Funcom's pretty quick at getting rid of stuff like this, but you know how the process is. It's quite tedious with Funcom. Now, the server seemed kind of peaceful at this point, besides for the spammers and some griefers. But once I saw this individual and other people had already been speaking about said person, I knew things were about to change, and they were not about to change for the better of the server. And that's where we're going to wrap today's video up. I tried to cram in as much as I could to try to get us, fast forwarding a bit. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, stick around for more episodes in the series. I will be editing a lot more frequently. So sorry for the delays, but if you do enjoy the series, I do appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.